Hi, Aldo here, the base gardener, and today I'm going to take you on a walk through our garden. So in the back we have a couple of acres of cedar fir forest, and we have a stream running through our property that provides water for our garden and for the household as well. We don't have too much going on in the back yet. We've got some fruit trees, some shrubs, but most of our efforts have been focused on the front yard. As we walk through, this is our Akita Mori. Hi, Mori. I'll give you some of my general ideas and philosophy about gardening. So to start, I'm no expert. My training is in forestry. That's what I've done for my career. But I'm interested in permaculture, folks like Bill Mollison and Jeff Lawton, and I've learned a lot from those folks watching their content. But I also have both my father and my uncle, who are now departed, were both gardeners, and they were also both chefs. And that's always really interested me, the idea that you can produce your own food from growing your own garden on your own land. It's a very liberating feeling, and in many ways I think it's the antidote to this digital age that so many of us feel disconnected from sources of meaning and the ability to create things with our own bare hands. So to me, this lifestyle makes sense. And as I said in my introduction video, I really look at this land as a canvas that I can express what I want my world to look like. And I can do that through my own efforts, and I can take the fruits of those efforts and create food, healthy food for my family to eat. And so that's a very gratifying thing. And so we'll go through what we've done here. So this is our little, they call it a Three Sisters bed. We've got corn, beans, and squash growing here. Still the beginning of the season, so they're small. But even this small bed here, we end up getting a fair bit of corn from. It gets a lot of sunlight, which is great. So moving over to the front here, bit of background. When we bought this property, this land was basically barren, especially the front yard here was just a big open lot. The grass wouldn't even make it through to the summer. And that's because we have incredibly hot and dry summers here. This is British Columbia, Canada, so it's cold overall, but the summers are very hot and very dry. Most of our precip comes in the winter in the form of snow, and we get a lot of rain in the shoulder seasons. But the summers are so dry that by this time of the year, when we first moved in, the grass would already be dead and yellow, looking like Southern California or something. But we've slowly added in what we kind of think of as islands of green, areas that we've kind of focused our management on, and we've brought in lots of soil, horse manure, things like that. And so up here we have Jerusalem artichoke, we have pumpkins, we have sage, we have buckwheat, all growing together, and it's pretty wild looking. We haven't focused on the aesthetics so much as just things that grow well together, and these things have been doing great. We've got lots of pumpkins in previous years, and these Jerusalem artichokes are just taken right off. So we also had some fruit trees that were here when we moved in, but they were so dried out they weren't producing barely any leaves, let alone any fruit. So we've been able to revive some of those trees, and this pear tree, for instance, produces just great now. So you can see here, each branch has a bunch of pears growing on it. Again, we're early in the season, but these are delicious pears, and we'll have a ton of them by the end of the season. We've got grapes growing along a little section of fence here. These do great. This raspberry patch here is a great way to showcase what we're trying to do with the property, because we started out with just a few canes here, and it's expanded. And again, I know it's very wild and very unkempt, but this way it keeps the grass down. It attracts tons of bees. And what we do to generate soil here is we take any scrap of organic matter we can find, leaf drop, all the rest of the plant matter from what we've harvested from the previous season, grass clippings, absolutely anything, and we pile it and we turn it until we get this nice compost, and we basically spread that around all these patches that we're growing here, and it allows this raspberry patch to just keep expanding into the areas we've applied compost in the previous year. So it's doing just great. To my left here, we've got a few haskap. We've got 6 haskap plants here. These are incredible. They produce delicious berries very early in the season. We've already been harvesting berries for a little over a week now, and we're just in the beginning of June. So these are a great plant for Canada. You can really get a lot of production out of them. We've got some honey locust here. These are nitrogen fixers, and they drop lots of leaves that we can use for our compost, so we love them. We've got a potato bed here. This is the first year we've been growing potatoes. We basically just dug it right into the ground here, but we added some soil, we added some compost, and so the potatoes are doing great. And we've got a bed in this dog run. The dogs learned how to escape, so now it's more of a deer-proof enclosure. We've got a garden bed in there. Now, anything that isn't in that enclosure, we have some gooseberries growing here. These get heavily chewed on by deer, and it's frustrating, but there's really not a lot you can do. Now, around here we've got fruit trees. So these fruit trees are producing, they're great. We have cages around them, again, to protect them from deer. We haven't been doing much pruning yet, but we will get to that. We just wanted them to get established and drop as much leaf matter as they can for now. So over here, these are small now, but we have high hopes for these. These are Kentucky coffee trees. And again, these are nitrogen fixers, and they grow quite vigorously, and they give us lots of nice leaf drops. So once they're bigger, these will produce some shade as well, which will help with our dry and hot conditions here. So over here, we've got this great Asian pear tree, delicious pears. And again, it produces really, really well. It seems like one of the easiest trees to manage in our climate. It's these Asian pears. So highly recommended if you live in this area. And we have some sea buckthorn here. These are deer resistant, so these are great. They also produce berries. We have some cucumbers. We planted these with cages around them with the hopes that they'll climb up the cages, give it a bit of deer protection, and give them something to climb up. So we'll see how that works out. And last but not least, this is a couple of the garden beds we have here. So we've got a kind of an interesting mix, and so far it's been doing all well together. So we've got strawberries here, and these are doing quite well, starting to produce for us here. We've got horseradish. These are probably going to take over the bed eventually, but for now they're doing great, coexisting well with everything. We've got some chives flowering right now, and we've got some tomatoes. And these, again, the deer tend to leave them alone, so we like that. And then over here, we've got garlic growing. And garlic does so well in this climate that we plan to double the size of this bed. One problem we have is if we have any uncovered spots on our bed, the wild turkeys in this area will come and they'll roost and they'll make a big mess and dig things up. So that's why the sticks are in this bed, to protect from the turkeys. Anyway, that's a little overview of our garden. There's a lot more to see here, and so I'll probably do some more videos, go into some more specifics, but that's a brief overview. Feel free to drop your comments if you have anything to recommend or you want to compare and contrast to your own gardening experience. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.